Today, Sunday, the 2nd of March 2025, we have some handpicked match predictions to share with you, which of course will be backed up by some stats and analytics to help you make your picks in this list to boost your winning by a greater percent. And to those of you who want to have access to our handpicked events, which we share to members only, as well as access to our top-notch bet class tutorials to take your winning to the next height, then of course you want to make sure to join the level 2 pro plan or the level 3 master plan to have access to these features to take your winning to the next height. To those of you who want to join, the link is below this video description. So without wasting time, let's begin with the first match pick of our today's list. But before we proceed, we want to say congratulations based on yesterday's event, for we are registered wins, and I'll share with you the result before proceeding to the event of today. So let's look at the result.
Looking at the first event we shared yesterday, we looked at Gyor women against DVTK women in the Hungary NB1 women. We looked at the possibility of 1.5 going full time or 2 goes over. It ended as 2 against 2, making a total of 4 goals. It was successful, and congratulations. In the next, we looked at Super League 2 of Greece, AEK Larnaca against Campaniakos. In this event, we looked at AEK Larnaca to lead. We also looked at the possibility of 1.5 and 2.5 goals in full time. It ended up as 4 against 1. AEK Larnaca lead, and also the possibility of 1.5 or 2 goals over, making it successful. Congratulations. In the next, we looked at Italy in the Serie A, where we looked at Atalanta against Venezia. For this event, we looked at corner kicks for Atalanta, especially 2.5 corners or 3.5 corner kicks. For those that went for 2.5, it was successful. Atalanta ended up having a total of 3 corner kicks, making 2.5 corner kicks successful. In the next, we looked at Scotland in the Premiership, Rangers against Motherwell. We looked at goals probability as well. 1.5 or 2 goals over. It ended as 2 against 1. A total of 3 goals were scored, making 1.5 goals to be successful and 2 goals over also to be successful. In the next, we looked at the Premier League women of France. We looked at Guingamp women against Fleury 91. We looked at 1.5 and 2.5 goals in full time. It ended at 6 against 0, making 1.5 and 2.5 goals to be successful. Congratulations. In the next, we looked at Hapoel Tel Aviv against Hapoel Hadira in the Liga Hal of Israel. We said that Tel Aviv will lead, and we also said that there will be the possibility of 1.5 and 2 goals over. It ended as 3 against 2, making Tel Aviv to lead, and also 1.5 or 2 goals over to be successful. Congratulations. In the next, we looked at Scotland in the Premiership, Celtic against St Mirren. We looked at corner kicks for Celtic. We'll look at 2.5 or 3.5 corners or more corners. It ended up Celtic having 3 corner kicks, making 2.5 corner kicks to be successful. In the next, we looked at Man City against Plymouth in the FA Cup. We looked at Man City to lead. We also looked at the possibility of 1.5 and 2.5 goals. Both cases were true. Man City lead 3 against 1, a total of 4 goals, and 1.5 and 2.5 goals was also successful. Congratulations. In the next, we looked at France and the Ligue 1, PSG against Lille. For this event, we looked at PSG to lead. We also looked at the possibility of at least 1.5 or 2 goals over. It ended up as 4 against 1, making PSG to lead, and also goals probability to be successful. Congratulations, it was successful as well. So these were the events of yesterday. We registered wins. So let's now proceed to the event of today.
And now we have some match pick events to share with you. But before we proceed, I have a quick announcement to make. If you come here to the front page of our channel here, titled as the home, you are going to realize that we provide match predictions to members only based on our handpicked events in goals and corner kick match predictions as well as straight win events. These particular match picks are shared to members only, and for you to access these, you want to make sure to also become either a member of the level 2 pro plan or the level 3 master plan to have access to these features. Also, once you are a member, you're also going to have access to top-notch masterclass and bet class tutorial. For example, if you're a member of the level 2 pro plan, you have access to the level 2 pro classes, which will give you access to the live match corner kick event strategy, which we have explained in this video tutorial. We also have the next one, a simple trick to make consistent winning, which will be explained, and also never seen match prediction strategy that will amaze you, comeback strategy that you have never seen before, as well as strategy in terms of goals, pick 2.5 goal and straight win event, and followed by 99% win rate strategy for you to use. Once you're a member of the Level 2 Pro plan, you also have access to all the Level 2 Pro classes in one place. The link will be found below this video. But if you're a member of the Level 3 Master plan, you have access to the Level 3 Master classes that will give you access to the excellent corner kick strategy being reviewed 7 days ago, the AI tool which we use to find game event in terms of straight wins and goals probability, followed by corner kick strategy, which of course you can use for advantage, that reveal the top secret site we use for corner kick match predictions and picks. Finally, you're also going to have access to the home and away match prediction strategy step by step, 6 amazing AI tools we use, and 2.5 goal strategy to beat the bookies and win even more. Once you become a member of either the Level 3 Master or the Level 2 Pro, you have access to top-notch tutorials to start taking your winning to the next height. Also, if you come to the front page of our channel here, to the video tab as you can see and click on video, you also notice that we provide match predictions, that is tutorials for free at some level. If you come here as an example, we have this tutorial which we have shared, the top 5 prediction apps compared, which we have revealed some of the features to use at your advantage. We also have another one which we have explained some of the expert tips you can use and start to implement. The expert tips, which of course you can use to pick soccer games, explained in this tutorial. You want to make use of it, and followed by another one, 5 hidden Sofascore features, which of course you can use for your advantage. We have revealed some of the secret features of Sofascore, which was hidden, and we have revealed them to you. You want to make use of these. And that being said, let's now move to the first event of our today's list. Looking at the first event, we look at Spain in the La Liga, a match between Barcelona against Real Sociedad. The recent events of the home team, Barcelona, in terms of the recent game they have had in the La Liga, have proved that they score between one goal in each event. They have recently had games in the Champions League against Atalanta and also in the La Liga against Valencia, where the performance was good. Sociedad, on the other hand, have proved that the defensive line is not very great in terms of recent events they have had, especially in the Europa League and also in the La Liga itself. The recent head-to-head they met, Barcelona played at home in lead by 2-0. This time, the home team, of course, in terms of the stand, Barcelona proved that in terms of the form by the home, offense and defense, Barcelona sit here, scoring 10 goals in 5 events, conceding 4. They are good at offense and the defense is very tight. Its opponent, on the other hand, Real Sociedad, have proved that the defensive line in terms of the away game played is not very tight, and as a result, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For these particular events, the performance of Barcelona in terms of recent events they have had, especially in the Champions League, have proved that they are good, and also in the La Liga they have performed good, and compared to that of its opponent, on the other hand, the defensive line is not very tight. We want to look at the great performance of Barcelona based on recent events they have had in the Champions League and also in the La Liga to lead this match as one of the major picks. We also want to look at least the possibility of 1.5 goals to occur in this match in full time. These are our 2 major picks for this particular event. Looking at the next, we looked at Turkey in the Super League, a match between Fenerbahce against Antalyaspor. For this event, Fenerbahce, in terms of the recent event they have had, especially in the Super League and also in the Europa League and in the Cup, have proved that they are very offensive, scoring 3, 3, and 5 goals in each event. Its opponent, on the other hand, is not very tight in terms of the defensive strength. They concede 3 goals, 1 goal in each event they have had. And looking at the stand performance in terms of the recent event they have had, based on the form, the home Fenerbahce, in terms of the recent event, have proved that they are good in terms of the performance. And sitting on the second place, they have had 14 goals scored, 7 conceded goals. Their offense is very good and the defense is average. That of Antalyaspor, on the other hand, in terms of the recent event they have played, the defensive line is not very tight. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. The recent events of Fenerbahce in the recent gameplay they have had have proved that the offensive strength of Fenerbahce is good. The defense of the away team is not very tight and the offense is average. And looking at the recent performance of Fenerbahce in the matches they have had recently, especially in the Europa League and also in the Turkish Super League, the offensive strength is good. And we look therefore at Fenerbahce, the home, to lead this match in full time as one of the major pick. We also want to look at least the possibility of 1.5 goal to occur in this match in full time as the next event. So we'll look at two major pick here. One, the home team to lead. Two, the possibility of at least 1.5 goal to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at Serbia in the Super League, a match between Crvena Zvezda against IMT Novi. For this event, Crvena Zvezda have proved very offensive in terms of recent event they have had, scoring 3, 6, and 2 goals in each event, especially in the games they have had in the Champions League and also in the Super League of Serbia. Their performance have been great. Comparing to that of Novi Bragad, on the other hand, they are not very tight in terms of defense, conceding too much of goals recently. Looking at the stand performance in terms of the recent event they have had, the form of the home team, Crvena Zvezda have proved to be very offensive, leading this table, scoring 23 goals in just 5 events, prove that they are very offensive. The defensive line also is good, but comparing to that of its opponent, on the other hand, in terms of the defensive line, they are not very tight in defense and the offense is not good. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks in full time. For this particular event, the home team have proved to be very offensive, scoring a large number of goals in recent events they have had. It topped the league table in terms of the home performance with a high striking power, but the defensive line of the away is not very tight, and therefore look at the home to take advantage of the weak defense of the away to either lead in full time as one of the major picks. Also, since the defensive line of the away is not very good, we look at the possibility also of 1.5 goal in full time as well as 2.5 goals in full time. These are our major pick for this particular event. 1, the home to lead. 2, 1.5 goal in full time. 3, 2.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at England in the Women's Super League, a match between Manchester United women against Leicester women. Performance of the home Manchester United women have proved to be offensive recently, 3 goals in each event. The opponent Leicester, on the other hand, concede too much with a very weak defensive lineup, conceding 3-4 goals in each event recently. The stand performance of recent events they have had, the home performance of the home team, Manchester United women, have proved that they are very offensive, scoring 11 goals in just 5 games played, conceding 2. The defensive line is very good and the offense is good. But that of Leicester, on the other hand, in terms of the defensive line, based on the way they are very weak, conceding up to 11 goals in just 5 games played and scoring only 1. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the home team, Manchester United women, is high in terms of offense. And since the defensive line of the away is very weak, we want to look at the home Manchester United women to lead in full time as one of the major picks. And also because of the very weak defense of the away as well, we look at goals probability, at least 1.5 goal in full time as well, or 2 goals over. Therefore, we're looking at 1, the home team to lead. 2, at least 1.5 goals in full time or 2 goals over. Looking at the next, we'll look at Greece in the Super League, a match between PAOK against Asteras Tripolis. For this event, the recent performance of PAOK, especially the game they had against Lamia, have proved to be very offensive. In the next Super League, which they had against Anten, 2-1. Livadia, they had a win. And looking at the performance of its opponent, on the other hand, the defensive line is not very tight. And the recent performance in terms of the stand, in terms by the home and away performance, PAOK, the home team have proved that in terms of the home performance, they sit here in the position of the league table where they prove to have, PAOK, where they prove to have a good offensive line, scoring 13 goals in 5 games played, conceding 4. But that of its opponent in terms of the striking power by offense and defense have proved that the defensive line of Asteras is not that is Asteras is not very tight. And looking at everything in place, we look at two major picks in full time. For this particular event, PAOK have proved to be offensive in recent events they have had. And since the defensive line of its opponent is not very tight, we look at PAOK to lead as one of the major picks or to give PAOK a double chance. We also want to look at the probability of at least 1.5 goal in full time, since the defensive line of the away is not very tight and may also want to impress. So two major picks here. 1, PAOK to win or to give it a double chance. 2, the possibility of at least 1.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at England in the Women's Super League, Brighton women against Chelsea women. The recent performance of Chelsea women have proved very offensive, scoring 1, 5, and 2 goals in each event in the Champions League women as well as the Super League women. That of home, Brighton, in terms of recent event, also have proved that they do score at least between 1 to 4 goals in each event, especially in the FAC. Recent stands in terms of the comparison by the games they have had recently, the away team Chelsea have proved to be very offensive, scoring 15 goals in just 5 games played. That's an average goal score rate of about 3 in each game play, with a very great defense. But that of the home, in terms of the recent event they have had, the defensive line is not very good at home, but the offense is just average. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the recent performance of Chelsea women, the away, have proved to be very offensive. And the fact that they have a very strong defensive line and a very strong offensive line, the defense of the home is not that very tight and average offense. And looking at this, we look at Chelsea, the women, the away team, to lead in full time as one of the major pick. We also want to look at the probability of at least 1.5 going full time or 2 goals over. Looking at the next, we look at Cyprus in the Cyprus League, AEK Larnaca against Omonia. For this event, the performance of AEK Larnaca in recent event they have had have proved to be very offensive, scoring 4, 2, and 2 goals in each event. The performance of that of the opponent, on the other hand, is weak defense, and they are not very good in terms of the striking strength. The recent stands by comparison of form, the home, in terms of the home game performance, have proved to be good, scoring 10 goals in 5 events, prove that they are good. That of the defense of the away, in terms of the recent form they have had, the defensive lineup of the away have proved to be very weak, and they do not have a good strength at scoring. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks in full time. For this particular event, AEK Larnaca have proved to be very good, with a good striking power and the weak defense of the away. Of course, we'll look at AEK Larnaca to lead in full time as one of the major picks by taking advantage of the weak defense of the away. We also want to look at the possibility of 1.5 going full time, so two major picks. The home to lead as one of the major picks, as well as at least 1.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next, we looked in the England Women's Super League, but this time Arsenal women against West Ham United women. That is West Ham women. Of course, the recent performance of Arsenal women in recent gameplay they have had have been proved to be good. 5-2 goals scored, as well as you can see 5 goals scored against Crystal Palace. Its opponent West Ham, on the other hand, concede much in recent event they have had. And looking at the stand performance by the recent event they have had in terms of the form, the home team Arsenal, in terms of the home games, have proved that by the strength they are good, scoring 20 goals in 5 game play. Very offensive, also with a very good defense. But that of West Ham, on the other hand, in terms of the defensive line, have proved that they are not very tight. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the performance of the home Arsenal women have proved very offensive with a great defense. And since the defensive line of the away is weak, we look at the home Arsenal women to take advantage of the weak defense of the away to lead in full time as one of the major picks. We also want to look at least the possibility of 1.5 goals in full time or 2 goals over. This is our major pick for this particular event. Looking at the next, we looked at Saudi Arabia in the Saudi Professional League, Al Ittihad against Al Okhdood. For this event, the performance of Al Ittihad in recent event they have had have proved to be very amazing, scoring 4 goals in each event and 2 goals. That of its opponent have proved to concede much with a very weak defensive line. The recent stand performance in terms of the strength by comparison of form, the home Al Ittihad have proved that they have a good offensive line and sits here on the first place. They have scored 16 goals in 5 games played, conceding 7. That's a good offense and average defense. That of the opponent, on the other hand, in terms of the recent gameplay they have had, the defensive line is not very tight. And here we want to look at the home to take advantage of this weak defense of the away. So look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the performance of the home have proved to be very amazing. But that of the opponent, on the other hand, have proved that the defensive line is not good. And we want to look at the home to take advantage of the weak defense of the away to lead in full time as one of the major picks. Also, of course, due to the weak defense of the away, we are looking at goal probability, at least 1.5 going full time or 2 goals over. And to those of you who want to have access to our handpick events, which we share to members only, as well as having access to our top-notch bet class tutorials to take your winning to the next height, then you want to make sure to join the level 2 pro plan or the level 3 master plan to have access to these features to take your winning to the next level. To those of you who want to join, the link is below this video. You want to make sure to navigate to it, click and join to become a member to benefit from these features. Good luck and see you again in the next upload, and bye bye for now.